the Continental Divide.
Continental
Stopped and
Divide.
took a picture of that. Remember with the photo stand and the dog?
Oh yeah, it's just a gas station.
It was just a gas station that happened to be on the Continental Divide, which was really cool. It had a great
I think
view.
it was the view of the Red Rocks or something, right? Off in the distance, maybe?
Yes, because our next pictures we went to Red Rock Park.
Red Rock State Park in New Mexico.
Correct.
Yeah. Which is like a rodeo ground.
Yeah.
It doesn't really seem like it's designed for tourists, but like you could go, or like hiking, but there are hiking spots. So we did a small hike.
We
Yeah,
walked
not even a hike. We
like
just,
a mini hike.
yeah, because we weren't really prepared for a hike, but it was
Yeah.
like, wow, it's a cool looking area.
Yeah. It's the very stately, like huge, beautiful red rocks.
But
like,
we were able to do it because there were no horses. There was nothing going on. Like,
yeah.
like we just showed up. So we're kind of walking around, just taking some photos. And there was a local person in a car who said, like, hey, it's open. You can go in there.
Yeah.
And there's, if you go in, there's a museum. It's open. Check it out. It's all like
Yeah.
the different Native American people.
Tribes from the area.
Yeah, because it was, it reminded me of the Ancient Aliens because they're talking about the Anasazi. Anasazi? I think that's the people. The broader native peoples are the Anasazi people were there.
I don't know that name, but I'm sure you're right.
Yeah, I know it because I saw it on Ancient Aliens one
Of
time.
course.
So, yeah, of course.
But the museum was really cool. It's free to go in, but they do ask for donations, of course. Like any of the smaller places like that. So if you do take advantage, I encourage you to donate what you can to help support them. Yeah, so that was Gallup, New Mexico.
Oh, Gallup, New Mexico.
Yes.
Did we stop? I think we took a couple photos in Gallup. Yeah,
We did. Well, Red Rock Park is in Gallup. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, but like then
Yeah.
we went into Gallup, the city.
We
right?
did. Yeah. Yeah, and I bought jewelry at the Richardson
Is that in
Trading
Gallup?
Post. Yes.
Oh yeah, I think Gallup was one where they still had like some neon signs and things, right?
They did.
And
Yeah.
I thought like, oh okay, I could see Gallup being a place where you would stay and maybe walk around, take photos. They had one of those American Giants there, but it was kind of like in a car dealership, perhaps, maybe some sort of car lot.
I was born to run. I was born to run. Time ain't loose, I can't stop now. Can never slow me down. I was born to run. I was born to run, baby.
Then I think then we just moved on from Gallup, right? But
We
like,
did.
it's a place I could see perhaps taking some more photos of.
Yeah, it's got a good balance of like the historical stuff and then more current. It's got a good balance.
Yeah, and then where did we go next?
We stopped at Chief Yellow Feathers,
The third.
the third,
Oh, that's
on
right.
the side, where it was right on the Arizona-New Mexico line.
It looked like a very traditional, like roadside attraction type of place.
Yes,
I think it was like all their billboards like lined it up like that.
yes. But it was actually really cool because one, it's right on the state line between the two states. And you could see a Native American cave dwelling.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. And it was like right there, like as you're crossing New Mexico, Arizona, boom. And then there were more like little trading posts along the way.
Yeah,
But
there were several along
We
the
just
way.
stopped at that one.
And then it was Petrified Forest.
Yes, and we went through the northern part where there's not really. I guess I was like, oh, petrified forest. It's like the whole thing must be petrified. No, that's only in the southern part, which we didn't go because that's quite a drive to go down all the way to the southern part. What did you say? It's like 30 miles or something?
Yeah, it's 28 miles to drive through the whole park.
Yeah, so we just went. The part we wanted to see was where Route 66 used to intersect the park.
Yes.
So to mark that off, they put, what was it?
There's a
What did they put
Studebaker there.
They put an old Studebaker there.
Yeah.
And so we went around and saw that, and then we had stopped at all the overlooks for the painted. What was that
For the
called?
Painted Desert part.
Just amazing, just vast. Just,
Yeah.
I don't even think I took a picture because I was like, I don't even know how to take a picture of the vastness
Yeah.
of what this is.
Yeah. It's like trying to take a picture of the Grand Canyon. It's so big. Like, it's so overwhelming, and it's just plain amazing.
Yeah, I think I
Like,
resorted to
yeah.
the cheap way of using my iPhone and doing an iPhone pano. I think I took
Yeah.
one iPhone pano. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I just did a video. But even that, I feel like pictures don't do it justice. So, highly recommend go see. It's amazing. It's incredible. And then Holbrook, where we saw the Wigwam Motel.
Yes, and Holbrook is like the only 90-degree turn left on the Route 66, I think is what the
Yeah.
sign said, right? I could see staying at the Wigwam there,
Sure.
you know? Kind of reminded me of like Tucumcari, where they've got some of that Route 66 spirit, but it's, you know, it's fading.
It is a little bit. Yeah.
But they had the Wigwam Motel, right? And it was a pretty cool setup. They had a bunch of old cars set there. And at first I was like, is this like a working hotel anymore? Is it more like a museum? The office wasn't open, so there was nobody to like talk to, but you saw all these old cars. Like each of the wigwams had a car, like at least one old car parked out front. So it was like, is this just an exhibit or what? But then as I'm taking photos, I walk around and there's people cleaning the rooms. So
Yeah.
clearly it's still being used as a, you know.
Yeah. So I went online to look because I was also curious, and it is actually open, where you can actually book it. You can stay there. So, yeah.
So I
The
can
inspiration for the Cozy Cone.
I could see you staying there.
Sure.
I mean, we're going to stay at the one in San Bernardino. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
I was born to run. I was born to run. Time ain't loose, I can't stop now. Never slow me down. I was born to run. I was born to run, baby. Ain't no speed limit on this road. Can't nothing out there stop me. Ain't no telling nothing.
And so then from there, we went to Winslow. So here we are, standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona. Apparently, it's a big thing. I don't really know the reference.
Yeah,
yet.
it's
I was going to look it up. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just made it here, and it had poured raining, and so we stopped and got ice cream, and the rain is clearing up, but the roads are like flooded right now. So we'll just take a look around.
Did you ever look up and see what song it's from?
No, I was going to, and I forgot. What song is it from?
I don't remember. I know this. I've heard it. I don't know. It's an old song.
You're
Before
hoping
my
I
time.
looked it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You were
Yeah.
supposed to know that
I
stuff.
was supposed to know. All right, let's see what Google says. Hang on. So the song is called Take It Easy. It was written by Jackson Browne and Glenn Frey, and most famously recorded by the Eagles.
There you go.
So
I
there's
knew
your
that.
standing in the corner in
Yeah,
Winslow,
that's
Arizona.
why there was like those guys, statues of those guys there.
Yeah. Yeah, so Winslow, Arizona, super cool.
Yeah, it's another spot where I could see staying, right? It's got a cozy little downtown there,
Yeah.
all right off of Route 66. Yeah, so it's nice to see a town like that where like Route 66 is like there and it's just part of the, you know, the town is still thriving and stuff. down
It
there.
is, yeah, it's very cool. It's a great place. I could see staying there a little bit longer too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we went on to the Apache Death Cave.
Was that straight after there?
Yeah, that's in Winslow.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, Two Guns and then the Apache Death Cave,
Yeah.
right? The Two Guns, which is just the old gas station. I was like,
Yeah.
it would be cooler, but I'm just, all the graffiti on like some of these things
Yeah.
is just like,
It's disheartening for sure.
I don't really care for the graffiti. Like, just, you know,
But yeah, the Apache Death Cave, which was interesting. We had to look it up.
Yeah, well, so we went. We didn't go to the Apache Death Cave, but we went to that area where we thought it was.
Yeah.
But like there's a bunch of ruins of buildings there.
Yeah.
And it turns out the part we were really looking at was the zoo from the Two Guns gas station. So the gas station had a zoo, right? Which makes sense because when you come up to the thing, it said mountain lions, and I was like, "What's that all about?" And that must have been
Yeah.
like in the zoo where they kept mountain lions. Part of the reason we didn't go to the Apache Death Cave is because it was also threatening thunderstorms.
It was.
Like we had seen other people drove sort of back there. I don't know how they got there. I don't know
I'm
if
not
they're
sure
supposed to be
either.
back there,
Yeah.
but they drove back to it. We were like, well, let's kind of check out the zoo there, but we didn't actually go over to the cave, let alone go in the, like, certainly not go in the cave.
No.
And then there's nothing there that tells you the history, right?
No. Yeah.
So you want to talk about the history of it?
Well,
I like
I
it's
can.
kinda cool.
It is interesting. So I found an article on Atlas Obscura talking about the Apache Death Cave. The short story is that it's a stealthy Apache hideaway that became the haunting site of a mass grave. And then we moved on to Flagstaff.
Yeah. Flagstaff's cool.
It is cool.
I said Flagstaff's weird.
You did
Like
say
weird
that.
in a good way, I think.
Yeah. Very kind of,
Young.
yeah, young,
Modern.
hip, modern. Yeah.
So I think in that environment, like the whole like Route 66 is like maybe you might think of it traditionally as like toned down, but there's almost like this modern interpretation of it. So it's
that's-
kind of there, you know.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And so we stayed in what like a motel that's been there since the 60s, but it was recently refurbished.
Mm-hmm.
And it had that sort of take, like this retro futuristic take, but it was still like the same. It's a motel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was nice to stay in a historic motel that's been modernized. So it's cool. Flagstaff's cool.
It is cool.
It's maybe not what, you know, I don't know, who knows what people want to get out of, like, if you're doing Route 66, but it's a different vibe, right?
Yes.
It's cool. It's cool to switch it up, though.
Ain't no speed limit on this road. Can't nothing out there stop me. Ain't no telling how fast I go. Pull up one seat and watch me.